Hi everyone, I'm Celeste and welcome to my channel. My channel's all about cosplay. I teach you tutorials on how to make the outfit, how to do the makeup so you can become the character of your dreams. But right now we're not talking about that. Or are we? We're actually doing the 31 days of Halloween. And so we're actually finishing up. Today is October 30th with a brand new video. And today's video is a flower fairy. Yeah, we just mentioned it down below. My flower fairy is inspired by this design here. I found this on Pinterest. I looked for the artist, didn't say. I also found another image that I really like, so this is another reference. But feel free to choose your own kind of flower fairy and go off of that. Amber Scholl also did a fairy costume on her channel. Mine's going to be just a tiny bit different. Mine's more of like a nymph. I didn't have a chance to work on fairy wings. Blame school. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. As always, if you have any questions, leave them down below in a comment and click subscribe. That red button that looks like this packet of Skittles, but it says subscribe right across it, click that button and then maybe you'll taste the rainbow. Okay, let's go ahead and jump into this fairy tutorial. Yay, a package. This wig isn't actually for this project, it's actually for my Spirit Blossom Ari, which I'm teasering right now in this video that yes, I'm working on Spirit Blossom Ari. This is the wig that I'm going to be using for it. I think it looks pretty good. Okay, next part. So you don't need a wig for this costume, but I highly recommend if you want to go full fairy, maybe it's best to use an alternate color so you can embrace being a fairy. I'm going to be using scrap fabric for the bottom of my skirt. You can use any fabric you want. You could use a tablecloth, an old bed sheet, an old dress, panties. Just make sure that you're covered because you don't want to be indecent. And I'm going to play around with my scrap piece until it fits properly without wearing jeans. I can't show you what that looks like because I'll get demonetized. Oh, on top of that, you're going to also need a covering for your chest area. And me, I went out and got a brand new bra because I don't want to use all my other ones. I still like them a lot. So yay. I highly recommend that you use a nude color bra or a color that you're going to be using into your outfit. I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm sorry. So you're going to definitely need your bra, your skirt material. You're going to need tons of flowers. And when I mean tons of flowers, I ended up using at least 2 bushes full. I think that's what those things are. I used 1 full vine of white roses, and then I used this whole little scrappy thing here. And then I had this like other really long draping vine piece that I used. You want some beads too, and make sure you have plenty of it to match your materials. If you want kind of like my unicorn, you can actually bring out some sequins or some pearls. There's no shortage of what you can do with the materials that you have at home. This is all left up to your imagination. Heck, if you wanted to, you could even paint the entire thing when you're done if you want to change it up. Most importantly, make sure you have scissors, wire cutters, wire, and hot glue. 2 different types of wire is preferable, by the way. I'm first going to be using this heavy gauge wire and wrap it around my head a few times so I can create my crown. When I was happy with the sizing, I made sure to cut it off and then I secured it down with, you guessed it, not hot glue, but some tape. I only secured down some of the parts because I'm going to secure the entire thing down with some gold thin wire. Gold and white are going to be the main elements of my costume. I'm actually going to cut off a piece of the gold wire first because I don't want to use the entire thing and get tangled up into it. I'm going to take a small vine and start wrapping it around, and then I'm going to secure that to the headband piece using the gold wire. I'm going to keep doing this until I'm happy, until it's done, and if I had to keep cutting gold pieces, then I'll do that as well. To make sure everything was secured and in place, I started to add a second layer of gold wiring, and this time I strung around pearls on top of it, and so I made sure that everything looked really pretty and nice. I made sure that the ends didn't poke me by twisting pearls at the end, so it's nice and secure, and then making sure that they don't stab my head with pliers. I had these leftover pearl branches from my wedding bouquets, and I thought it'd be really cool to start to incorporate these back into something so they're not being wasted. So I slipped them into some of the wires and then bent them into place. To make sure that they're secure, I wrapped one of the branches around the headband, and then it was nice. So that's what happened. I decided to add a strand of beads to my headpiece, and then I'm going to add some roses on top of it. Now, I thought I positioned this to hang across my forehead properly, but it turned out to be too big. So be careful with that, and I just had to work with what I had glued down, and this time I'm using hot glue. After I had secured down these beads parts, I went ahead and glued down roses at the sides. And I think that's it for my headdress. So that's that. Make sure you have elf ears. If you don't have elf ears, just still say that you're a fairy. No one's going to hate you for it. And if they do, you can just say, okay, well, you're being a Debbie Downer. Go take like a Halloween shot of candy. And when I mean that, they had to shove as much candy as they can in their mouth, and then they had to chew it as fast as possible. I really thought I was going to keep the pink flower, but I decided not to. This is my finished crown, and you can see how easy that was. That took me less than an hour to make. So if you know how to work a hot glue gun and pair of scissors, you can make this. Sorry, my face looks really dumb right now. Next up, we're going to be tackling the bra. Now, if you're a dude, you probably don't need to do this, but you can if you want to, because you are anything you want to be. I'm going to go ahead and take off the straps because those are going to get in the way, and I don't want to like accidentally glue them to the bra, and I don't like that. On top of not liking things, I'm going to snip off this tag. Wait, am I allowed to do that? I don't remember if I'm allowed to like snip tags off. Anyways, so this is now our clean bra. See here, I don't even know. I wanted to go back and check. And this is voiceover Celeste, like telling current past Celeste, like, you better check if you could cut that off before you're in trouble. Guess not. Okay, so going back to our tutorial. Get out your hot glue gun. All right, so I'm going to bust open this brand new fresh bag of flower vine. Now this one is completely plastic, and I'm going to try to use all the leaves and the flowers on here onto the bra and onto the skirt piece. With this, you really can't go wrong, but you can, actually. I don't know why I said that. You want to make sure you only do the parts that do not stretch. This bra does not stretch at the front part. The back straps, like it's like super elastic, so you just don't want to work with that. So I'm going to begin by making sure the entire bottom part is leaves, and then I'm going to start filling in the areas on that. One of the things that I do definitely want to tell you is be careful with hot glue. That stuff hurts. I probably only really burnt myself once this entire project because I was being very careful. It was only until like the very end of this project that I actually burned my fingers, so that kind of sucked. Go ahead and start positioning your flowers everywhere that you want and start building the base of your bra, not the cups yet. So when you get to the cups, let me tell you what to do. Also, super side note, you don't need to tack everything down. Just make sure that the flower itself is secure and the leaves don't need to be there. You kind of want to keep it semi-organic, and if you need to try it on yourself, go ahead and do that. If you have a mannequin, it's so much easier, but there's something on my mannequin that I don't want you to see yet, but we'll get there when it's there. Also, I didn't always just pluck the flowers off of the vine. Instead, I just cut them off so that they would lay flatter. And that way it didn't puff out so much. And I wish I did that more than I did on this piece. So now when we actually get to the bra cups, you want to start at the very tippy top portion that actually is at the very top. Because when you work your way down, it's so much easier than working your way up. That's because this is going to be your finishing point, and then you're going to layer your flowers on top of that, and then you'll be done. So that's why I say just wait to tackle the bra cups last, because they are curved and you want to make sure that you like have flat flowers against it. Okay, if you're watching this, make sure you like try saying that 5 times fast. And if you're able to do that, say I did it. And I'll know exactly what you're talking about. Ta-da! And this is what one boob cup looks like finished and the other one is not. So we still have a little bit left to go. Let's go finish it. Alrighty, now that both booby cups are completely covered, what we want to do is take our pearls or nice beads, sequins, whichever sparkly doodads you have, and we're going to use that hot glue gun and start adding them back in. Now, if you want to, you could actually use something like E6000 or universal glue to make sure that they stay in place. I don't really mind. This is my Halloween costume. Minimal effort only, okay? Minimum effort, not a lot. But, you know, I still want it to look good, so some effort. And I hope you guys want some effort too. And if you're new at making this stuff, don't worry. You might have old bras everywhere, and you might have some old fake flowers. Cut it up and start practicing if you feel like it, or just keep making awesome fairy costumes too. By the way, if you like this tutorial so far, go ahead and click that red button down below with the thumbs up. I'd greatly appreciate it. Yeah. Alrighty, once you're done adding all your embellishments to your bra piece, go ahead and add your straps back in. Now, if you're an adventurous soul, you could actually start to customize your straps, but because they're elastic, you gotta be careful. You could actually even add something like clear straps or straps that have like shiny stuff on it. You know what I mean? You guys know what I mean. Okay, let's go ahead and get onto the skirt piece. Okay, if you remember my actual like unicorn video, I used this trim for it and I was thinking, man, how cool would it be if I was able to use up this trim again? And then I was like, wow, I don't really have that much left. So I'm just gonna make this into a quick little belt, and I'm not actually gonna make it into a belt. I'm just gonna say like safety pin it to my costume just to add a little bit of flair. But I thought it would be cute, and you know, sometimes just having an extra bit of trim or something gives a little bit extra like dimension and texture, shininess, prettiness. Okay, I'm sorry. So I made sure to play around with my remnant fabric first and see how I like it. I found out that it was actually pretty decent size except for this top piece. So I grabbed some pins and needles, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut that top piece off because I don't need that. No, just like bad toxicity. You don't need that in your life. So like I said, cut it out. Oh yeah, this stuff cuts like butter, by the way. By the way, for those who have made it this far in the video, can you hear my dog snoring in the background now? Because he's literally getting tired of me editing videos this late. Anyways, I went back and tried pinning it onto me and making sure that it looked nice. And I made sure that I had this little frilly part in the front. I really liked it. So I made sure to mark it. And now we're going to bring back the hot glue gun. Woohoo! This is where I put most of my foliage in, and I didn't use any roses on this because I wanted to save the roses for my last little piece, but feel free to have tons of fun with this. Because I was going to have a belt, I decided that I needed more flat flowers than anything else, and I really wanted some good coverage. So I started ripping off and cutting off all of my flowers off of its chain, and it had this really ugly neon color to it, so I'm really glad that I did that. The leaves, they were fine. I didn't really have to worry too much about those. So make sure you have all of your flowers ready when you're doing this project before your hot glue gun is ready, because you don't want to waste any of that precious hot glue. I took whole pieces of vine and just started gluing them down onto this piece of fabric. I made sure that the longest pieces were in the back and not in the front, because that would be really annoying to like get in my legs when I'm trying to walk around or dance or anything. So I made sure to tack it down with hot glue, and then I secured it with the flower on top, making sure that it was super secure with tons of hot glue that never burned myself. And so yeah, that's what happened. So I made sure to grab tons of these vines and I just cut them off of its branch. And its branch kind of like goes into one of those like plant holders. So it had this like really weird stem at the top. So I just went ahead and started adding these first, and then I glued the flowers on top of it. You can actually really opt to change the flowers here, or you can actually not use vines and just use more of a fabric-based skirt if you feel like it. I just had this fabric, and then I realized I had these vines. I really didn't want to compromise the vine look coming out of like my waist area. I thought it would be so pretty, so I kept it that way. You could probably do something different if you felt like it, but this is what I'm doing and you're watching my video, so thank you very much for coming in if you made it this far. I didn't want too many pieces to be bare, so I made sure to have my flowers sit somewhere in between, and then some of the areas, if I had extra vines, I went back, but this kind of like played against me because one area was just like super green foliage and then the other area was super white. So I was like, oh, I don't know if I like that, but you know, there's a way you can counteract it, and that was with bling. So go ahead and finish covering your entire skirt area first with flowers and foliage, and then worry about adding sparkle. This is going to let you see where you need to fix everything and if you're going to be happy with it. So this is what my skirt looks like, and then I'm going to go back and fill in any of the bald. I'm going to go back and fill in any of the bald spots. I'm going to fill in those bald spots with the remaining foliage. I decided to string a butt ton of these like seed beads and pearls into one extremely long line. And I'm just going to secure this down onto the skirt, kind of like a snake weave. And this is my type of sparkle. I already have a belt going on top of it. This is just to lay on top to give it a little bit of glam, but not so much of a, wow, sparkle, oh my God. I used the remainder of my roses like this rose vine into my wrist cuffs. So what I did was I cut them in half and then I grabbed that gold wire again, and I did that same technique of just, you know, what I did for my flower crown. I cut off some of the wire and then I am going to wrap it around the rose vine. It took me a second to remember what I was doing, and I'm so sorry. So I folded over the rose vine and then I started wrapping it just like the headband, and this became my base for my bracelet. And in order for me to secure my bracelet, I actually added beads and a ball and loop clasp, but it's a pearl, so it just looks so much better. If you have any questions about that kind of clasp, let me know. It's actually really easy to do. You just have like a pearl at one end, and then you have a loop big enough just for the pearl to fit, and that is your clasp. Clasp. Did you ever realize that's such a funny word? And then you're done! Go ahead and throw on your entire costume and let's see how it looks! I can't believe it, we're on day 30 of the Halloween, I can't believe we're on day 30 of October 2020. Can you believe how fast this year has gone? I can't. It's amazing. But I hope you guys enjoyed this actual costume tutorial, and it's a little bit easier, not much sewing or anything. Yeah. But if you have any questions, leave them in a comment down below, and check out some of my other videos floating around my head. And remember to stay spooky, and I will see you in a future video, as long as you click that red button down below. Alright, bye!